Hi folks, Pammy from Pammy's Peck of Pursuits here for week 4 for the Three Rivers Pantry Challenge. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see more of my challenge, and here we go. For week 4, on the first day we had some fish and chips from the freezer and some fresh tomatoes and basil salad with some dill pickles. And for dessert, we had some leftover ice cream and cherries. And for day 2, the next morning, we had some yogurt and muesli for breakfast. It's the muesli that I made last week with the dried fruit in it. This was a little bit of my garden haul from the other day. Don't be hating on me because I'm picking my tomatoes green, but I'm fighting with the birds and the bugs. There's my basil in the dehydrator. And I made a big pot on day 2. I made a big pot of chicken noodle soup with chicken, vegetables, and stock from the freezer. And this is the cat right after I told him he couldn't sleep in my sewing basket. Made himself quite at home, thank you. And there's my chicken noodle soup ready for dinner. Made lots of it, sent some next door to the neighbor. This is my haul from the fruit and veg shop. Most of these, everything but the bananas, will be going into the freezer for preservation. And this was my 10-kilo box of capsicums that I got for $22. I was so pleased with that. I chopped and chopped and chopped and chopped. I also got a box of end-of-the-line zucchinis for $2.99, which I grated and put bags of 1-cup portions in the freezer. I got 11 of those, and I dehydrated the rest, and they're 1-cup serves for zucchini muffins or zucchini slice or zucchini whatever. And then I diced up all of those capsicums, well, some of those capsicums, and put them in a bag in the freezer. I made some bacon and eggs for breakfast the next morning. And I didn't really think ahead too much. I did bacon and eggs for breakfast, and then we had a frittata for tea, so it was a very eggy day. But I have heaps of eggs in the fridge, and the chickens keep giving them, so I decided I needed to use some up, and we're going away on holidays shortly, so I don't want too much of a backlog in the fridge. But yeah, this morning I did some scrambled eggs and bacon on toast, and it was really, we don't often do cooked breakfasts, and so it was a bit of a treat. And this was day 4 of week 4, and there's our bacon and eggs for breakfast. Back to the capsicums, I kept chopping. I diced up a lot for the freezer, and then once I had more than enough in the freezer, I decided to do some roasted capsicums. So I did all these diced ones first, got those into the freezer, and then I halved, I think it was about 6 or 7 that I had left, and halved them, put them in the oven under the griller, and blistered those, peeled them back, and made some delicious roast capsicum that I bottled. I also dehydrated a few trays. I got I believe I got a full quart of dehydrated capsicums. And this is the end of my green tomato chutney on a cheese and tomato sandwich for lunch. The capsicums going into the oven for roasting, and I didn't get that finished taping because I got making dinner. I rehydrated the last of the zucchini from last year, put in some capsicums and some onions and fried those up. And I made a base with some smashed potatoes in the bottom of my cast iron pan and put those grilled vegetables on top of the potato, and then we covered that with some eggs and put that into the oven, and that made a really, really lovely dinner. Put it in the oven in the cast iron pan and let it raise and cook, and it was just delicious. It made a beautiful dinner with a bit of salad on the side. So the next thing that we had on day 5 is we went for a barbecue at a friend's place, but before that I did my roast capsicums and bottled those. And then the next day, I think it was day 6, I believe, I had some yogurt and fruit with muesli for breakfast, and then we had cheese and tomato on toast for lunch. I cut up all those strawberries that I bought the other day for the freezer, and I had leftover frittata with some of the roast capsicum and some cherry tomatoes from the garden. It was a tasty little lunch. And then for dinner, I used up what I believe is the last of my mince. So I don't have any more beef mince in the freezer. I made, oh, there's my capsicum. Breakfast was bananas and muesli and yogurt again. Finishing that up before we go away. And that was all of the zucchini and capsicum and strawberries that I put in the freezer this past week and bottled and dehydrated. So well on my way of getting a bit of a pantry filled up for next winter. I've been buying up fresh fruit and vegetables to get them into the freezer and to get them preserved for next winter. Because it's the height of summer, I've been getting some really good deals. Capsicums and zucchinis were great. The strawberries have been good. I have also been buying a few other things, but this is what I have got preserved from this past week. So on day 6, I made some spaghetti bolognese with the last of my minced meat and the last 2 jars of spaghetti sauce that I made. So we really need to get our tomatoes coming along so that I can get some more spaghetti sauce in the pantry for this coming year. They're starting to ripen, but they're being a bit slow this year. So I made a big pot of spaghetti bolognese we had with dinner, and then the next day day 7, we had some hot dogs. So this is the end of week 4. A beautiful sunset we had, and I would love it if you would like and subscribe. Thanks for staying around and watching, and hope we'll see you next week for week 5 of our Pantry Challenge. Bye for now.